This film is about a poor woman who unknowingly hooks up with a cursed man, because of which an evil entity chases her everywhere. Interesting, right? But it doesn't stop there. If the entity catches her, she will die horribly. The only way she can escape her death is by hooking up with various men and passing on the curse to them. Will she be able to survive by the end of the movie? Well, let's find out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it's free. This is a horror mystery thriller film released in 2014 called It Follows. In the opening scene, a young woman is trying to run away from someone or something. Her father calls for her, but she tells him that she is okay. What a strong, independent woman. She quickly grabs her car keys and drives away. The woman then stops at a beach after driving for hours. At the beach, she calls her father and tells him that she loves him and is sorry for being a bad daughter. The next morning, the woman is found brutally murdered and her body is torn apart. In the next scene, we see Jay, who is chilling in her pool. After having a nice bath, she joins her sister Kelly and their friends Paul and Yara. My man Paul has a crush on Jay, but she is seeing someone else named Yu. Later that day, she goes on a date with Yu. While waiting in line, Jay plays a game with Yu and asks him to trade his place with someone in the crowd. Yu chooses a young boy and says that he is envious of him as he is innocent and lives a carefree life with no stress. Inside the theater, Yu asks Jay if she can see a young woman standing at the entrance, but Jay says that she can't see any woman. Ooh, terrifying. Yu gets nervous and immediately rushes out of the theater. On their next date, Yu takes Jay to a secluded place and kisses her. Jay then suggests going back to the car, where they get romantic. Once they are done, Yu knocks Jay unconscious with chloroform. When Jay wakes up, she finds herself tied up in a wheelchair. Yu apologizes to Jay for tying her and explains that when they got romantic, he passed a curse onto her. Oh no. Because of the curse, a very weird thing, is now going to follow her everywhere. It can take the form of any person and will follow her continuously at a walking pace. The thing can only be seen by the people who have the curse. Yu tells Jay to hook up with someone else soon, or else if this thing catches her, it will kill her, and the curse will revert back. While explaining about the curse, Yu spots a naked woman slowly walking towards them. Now Jay can also see her. Yu then takes Jay with him and drops her at her house, after which he drives away. Jay is confused by the situation and tells the police about Yu and the naked woman. One day at school, Jay spots an old woman in a hospital gown walking towards her. Scared, Jay abruptly leaves her class, but the old woman is still walking towards her. Apparently, no one else can see the old woman except for Jay. Jay is scared for her life and runs away. She drives straight to Paul and Kelly's workplace and tells them everything. As Paul wants to impress Jay, he offers to stay the night with them and protect her. That night, Jay, Kelly, Yara, and Paul spend the night at Jay's house. Later that night, Jay joins Paul on the sofa and they watch TV together. Just then, they hear someone smashing the kitchen window. Paul goes to inspect, but there's no one in the kitchen. So Jay also goes to check and is shocked to see a half-naked woman with scary eyes walking towards her. Scared, she runs upstairs into her room. Paul and Kelly are confused with the whole situation and think that Jay is hallucinating. As they try to comfort Jay, Yara knocks on the door. When Kelly opens the door, a tall man with dark eyes enters the bedroom. Jay quickly runs for her life, as no one else can see the man. She runs to a nearby playground and tries to process what she just saw. Paul, Kelly, and Yara eventually catch up to her. Just then, a neighbor named Greg also comes there and offers to help them by giving them a ride. Jay wants to confront Yu and find out what exactly is happening with her. They arrive at Yu's address, which however seems to have been abandoned a long time ago. Yu was temporarily staying in the house until he passed the curse to Jay. While checking a magazine, Paul finds a photo of Yu and the woman who died at the beginning of the film. Jay recognizes the jacket, which is from Lawson High School, so Jay and Greg go to the school to find Yu's real address. They learn that Yu's real name is Jeff Raymond, and they drive straight to his real address. Jeff's mother answers the door, and Jay realizes that the naked woman she saw coming for her earlier was in the form of Jeff's mother. Jeff tells Jay that she needs to hook up with someone else and pass on the curse to them. The group can't understand a thing Jeff is saying. I mean, I don't too. and they believe that he has lost his mind. So the group then goes to Greg's lake house, where they will plan their next move. There, Jay also decides to learn how to use a gun to protect herself. While the group is chilling near the lake, the entity takes on the form of Yara and grabs Jay's hair. Paul attacks it but gets blown away like he was nothing. Jay manages to escape and grabs a gun. After shooting several times, she eventually hits the entity, but it doesn't have any effect on it. The entity then takes the form of a tall man and breaks the door. It then takes the form of a boy who lives next door to Jay. Horrified, Jay runs to Greg's car and drives away, but soon crashes into a cornfield. She wakes up in the hospital, where she is being treated for her broken arm. Feeling scared for her life, Jay decides to pass the curse on to Greg, as he doesn't believe in the curse. What? So when they are alone, Jay passes the curse on to Greg, so that she can relax for a while. When Paul learns about this, he gets upset, as his crush just broke his heart. I weep for you, Paul. That's sad. A couple of days later, Jay is allowed to return home. One night, Jay looks out her window and sees Greg walking down the street to his house. He then breaks the window and enters the house through the broken window. Jay quickly realizes that the entity has taken the form of Greg. So she runs to Greg's house to warn Greg, but she sees the entity in the form of Greg's mother, patiently knocking on his door. Holy heck. As soon as Greg opens the door, the entity jumps on Greg and hugs him. Jay disgustingly sees the entity rubbing itself on a dead Greg. Realizing that the curse has reverted back to her, Jay flees in a car and goes to the woods to spend the night alone. The next morning, she wakes up and finds herself near a beach. In the water, she sees 3 men chilling on their boat. Yay, victims. So Jay takes off her clothes and goes into the water, hoping to pass the curse to them. Afterwards, she returns home and tries to get some rest. Paul tells Jay that if she wants, she can pass the curse onto him. But Jay refuses, as she doesn't want him to get killed too. Nice try, Paul. He then comes up with a plan to kill the entity once and for all and put an end to the curse. After telling the group about his plan, they all leave right away. While leaving, Jay spots the entity in the form of a naked man, staring right at her from the roof. The group then goes to an abandoned swimming pool, where they plan to lure the entity into the water and electrocute it just like that. Jay gets into the pool, as she is the bait. Sometime later, Jay spots the entity, which has now taken the form of her deceased father. But instead of getting into the water, it starts throwing electrical equipment at Jay to electrocute her. Not what they expected. Paul tries to shoot the invisible entity, but accidentally fires at Yara. Kelly quickly covers the entity with a sheet, and Paul manages to shoot it straight in the head, causing it to fall into the pool. As Jay tries to get out of the pool, the entity pulls her underwater by the ankle. Paul shoots the entity in the head again, and Jay manages to get out of the water. The pool is now covered with blood, indicating that the entity is dead. After returning home, Jay gets romantic with Paul for helping him get rid of the curse. Nice job, Paul. The next day, Jay and Paul walk down the street hand in hand as a person is walking straight towards them. I mean, maybe I'm just getting a little paranoid, but the curse may not just be over yet. Who knows, right? Anyways, this was the story of It Follows. For more such interesting movies, do subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.